Will be in the end of this. And all present, with the blessings of Param Pujya Hari Prasad Swamiji Maharaj, Param Pujya Prem Sarup Swamiji Maharaj, our Guru, mentor and President of Atmiya University, Param Pujya Tyag Vallabh Swamiji Maharaj, I take the blessings of them and start today's session. I, Reena Ugreja from Atmiya University, take the privilege to welcome our esteemed guests, dignitaries, delegates, and all the faculty members to the International Conference on Emerging Trends and Contemporary Practices 2024. Amongst us, we have our Vice Chancellor, Shiv Kumar Tripathi Sir, Dr. Yagnesh Shukla, Dean of FOET, our Chairperson, Dr. Sunil Sukla from Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Keynote Speaker, Dr. Ernst von Kimakovis from University of Lucerne, Geneva, Professor Sudhir Kumar Bhari, Birla Institute of Technology from BITS Pilani. He will be sharing, in his absence, will be sharing his message through online mode. Then we have KB Gudasi Sir from Karnataka University, Dr. O.P. Goel from Bosch India Foundation, and Dr. Inderpreet Kaur Ma'am from Riayat Behra University. Today, we have gathered for a plenary session 1 on disruptive technologies, skilling and future of work. Today's plenary session is not just a gathering of minds. It's a convergence of aspirations, a celebration of knowledge, and a testament to our collective commitment to excellence. As we come together in this sacred space of learning, let us pause to reflect on the profound impact of our collective efforts and the boundless possibilities lie ahead. Our agenda for today's session is ambitious yet purposeful. We will delve into the pressing issues of our time, explore disruptive technologies, and engage in the thought-provoking discussions that challenge conventional wisdom and inspire bold action. Yatha yekena chakrena na rathasya gatir bhavet. Just like a chariot cannot move with one wheel, we also can't do much alone, but together we can do so. So let us seize this moment, this opportunity to harness the collective power of our minds and hearts and pave the way for a brighter, more inclusive and sustainable future for all of us. Now we'll be facilitating our invited guest, and for that I request our Vice Chancellor Dr. Shiv Tripathi sir, to present a honorable stall to Chairperson Dr. Sunil Shukla sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Yagnesh Shukla sir, Dean FOET, Atmiya University, to give a welcome address about today's session.
A very good afternoon to all the esteemed guests, dignitaries and delegates present here. Today we all are gathering for the second international conference, first plenary sessions on disruptive technology skilling in the future of work. We are delighted and honored to have with us our chairpersons and moderator Dr. Sunil Shukla. He is the Director of Entrepreneurship, Education and Research. He has made remarkable contributions to the field of entrepreneurship, education, research and capacity building initiative. We are pleased to have Dr. Andres von Kimokwazis, our distinguished session keynote speaker, attended this event. We are honored to have you here today, sir. He is a researcher on business ethics at the University of Lucerne Institute of Social Ethics, founding director of Humanistic Management Center and co-founder of Humanistic Management Network. His work is focused on advancing the center by developing thought, leadership, engaging in the higher education activities and providing advisory service on impactful business conduct to private and the public sector organization. Welcome, sir. It is a great pleasure to welcome our distinguished speaker, Professor Sudhir Kumar Baraya. We are honored to have you present online. He is a senior professor and director of BITS Bilani. He has published 240 plus papers in the leading international journal and conference in his research field. He has a co-authored 3 books and also co-edited 2 books which have been published by Springer. We are delighted to host Professor K.B. Gudasi, sir, is our distinguished speaker. We are honored to have you here today, sir. He is a Vice Chancellor of Karnataka University, India. He has published more than 106 plus papers in the leading international journals and conference in his research field. He has completed 5 research projects and awarded 19 PhD degree. Welcome, sir. We are delighted to host Dr. O.P. Goel, sir, as our distinguished speaker. We are honored to have you here today, sir. He is the former head of BOS India Foundation, CSR and the skill development. Dr. Goel is a well-recognized skilling expert in the India and is currently an advisor to BOS India as well as the National Skill Development Cooperations, which works under the aegis of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, and is also the teach at the IIM Nagpur. It is a great pleasure to welcome our distinguished speaker, Dr. Indrapreet Kaur. We are honored to have you here today, madam. She is serving as a Dean, University School of Social Science and Education, Rayat Bar, University, India. She has 27 plus publication in the National International Journal, 19 chapters in edited books, 3 books edited, and 68 paper presentation in the national and international conference and seminar. Thank you. Welcome to all.
Thank you, sir. Aswasya bhushanam vego matam syad gajabhushanam. Adornment of a horse is in its speed, and that of an elephant is in its majestic gait. With respect to today's speakers, It's the endless contributions they had done to the society. Moving further with this plenary session, we have our distinguished speakers who will be lighting up the ideas on disruptive technologies, skilling, and future of work one by one. So without further ado, allow me to introduce you to the dignitaries. First, we have Dr. Sunil Shukla, sir. We are delighted to have you, sir. He is the Director of Entrepreneurship, Education and Research. I request sir to proceed for his talk.
The introduction is done already.
It's okay. Next, it's our great pleasure to welcome our distinguished speaker, Professor Sudhir Kumar Bare. In his absence, we will play his video message.
I have my notes now, so I can talk first if you want. So,
Okay.
as you wish, but I'm ready with.
Okay, yes, fine, right?
All of you, it is wonderful to be present here virtually through this video message for the second international conference on emerging trends and the contemporary practices, which is organized by the Atmiya University in Rajkot. Unfortunately, because of my tight schedule of the travel, I could not be present during the session. However, it is wonderful to see that the conference is arranged in the areas of emerging trends and contemporary practices. Specifically, this particular session talks about the disruptive technologies, skilling, and the future work. Since the world is going through a very radical changes in terms of the technology innovations, lot of disruptive technologies are coming up, be it the artificial intelligence, the industry, and in created the opportunities and the challenges. One of the most important part of this opportunity is that it can increase the efficiency to improve the productivity and enhance the customer experience, along with the challenges like a job, the displacements, security concerns, and of course the ethical implications. That has led us to the innovations and adaptations. Disruptive technologies effectively and remains the competitive in the market. At the same time, from the disruptive technology point of view, regulatory and the legal issues will also crop up, such as the privacy concerns, the data protections, and intellectual property rights. At the same time, when you talk about the disruptive technologies, then the skilling part comes into picture. Skilling leads to the skilling, reskilling, and the upskilling. This actually, the emerging technologies can help the workforce to get skilled up and scale up so that they can be the better employed into an organization. At the same time, academic institution like ours has an important role to play to create an ecosystem for a lifelong learning. And that is where the individuals can study anytime, anywhere. And that is where the technology is going to play a very, very important role. To take it this whole learning ecosystem to very forward level, there is a need for public-private partnership. Unless a public-private partnership comes into picture, we would not be able to move faster. Since the technology is evolving so fast, they are actually taking to a level where we, as an academicians, will have to match it up. And that is where I think the academicians can't start learning the technology, rather than fall back on the people who can really work on a technology and academicians who can work in collaboration with them and use it so that it can become the very useful for the academic learning point of view. Now, since these new technologies are going to create a very huge impact, the future of work is also going to be different. There would be possibilities, COVID has already demonstrated it, that remote working, and that remote working is actually working out to be much more effective. And many of the offices are also converted themselves to work in a hybrid way, few days in the office and few days working on a remote way. And that is something which is going to happen. At the same time, there is a lot of opportunities are rising for the youngsters to do the freelancing work. This will also help them to become a self-sustained. They can really generate the revenues for themselves or the income for themselves and make the education much more affordable. In the world of this whole disruptive technologies, one of the most important things which is going to happen is that human-machine collaborations. Everyone knows about the chat GPT now and what way actually the machines can help the humans. And that is where I think the man-machine interaction is going to become a very, very important role. And that is where I think this conference like this gives an opportunity to get the idea about the new skills and the roles. I'm very happy to be here virtually through this video. I wish all the best to this conference participants, and I'm sure they will have a very, very exciting sessions on disruptive technologies, the skills, and the future of the work in this plenary session by my elite panelist members in this particular session. I wish you all the best. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
I thank Sudhir sir to share his message offline. Now I request Dr. Sunil Shukla sir to carry forward today's session.
Respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Tripathi, Dean, Dr. Shukla, elite and distinguished panelists, scholars, students, teachers, all those who are present over here. Let me thank Atmiya University first for giving this opportunity to me to come over here and share my views. Thank you so much. I compliment the university administration for organizing this conference on the wonderful theme. I understand this is the second after nearly 2 years on a very relevant subject of technology, sustainability, and coexistence. All these themes are very, very important. As we heard Professor Sudhir Kumarji online, that lots of changes are happening, lots of technologies are emerging, and one of the virtues of the pandemic has been that we have gotten used to the technology, at least in communicating, in analyzing, in interacting, in networking. World has come much nearer than what it used to be prior to the COVID. And it is up to us that if there is any opportunity, how do we take advantage of that? Technologies are, in fact, technology is an enabler. It can be applied in any situation, any field. It is up to us how do we make use of it, how do we apply it. And here when we are talking of technology, it comes to my mind that it's the adoption of the technology, learning from the technology, and benefiting from the technology for the common cause. Need not always be a radical technology. It could be incremental as well. And the specific reference here is that of disruptive technology. It is ideal, desirable, if we can have that disruptive technology, but always it may not be feasible. Of course, when we interact with the industry, we tell them that you need to adopt disruptive technology in order to avoid being obsolete, in order to being relevant, in order to be competitive, in order to keep growing. That is very, very important. We all are aware, and often we have been talking of Industry 4.0, which is a knowledge-driven technology based on Internet of Things, based on things like business analytics, data analysis, mobile, internet. So this is the fourth generation of automation that has come. Industries are gradually adopting to that. It has become almost a necessity. And it should be seen in the continuum. When the first industrial revolution came through steam technology, steam engine, followed by electricals, and then electronics, IT kind of revolution. Very, very important. And every time when the technology unfolds, it brings certain challenges. It brings initially certain resistance. And when we got to use this technology, then it occurs that without this technology we can't stay, we can't live. It is important. I remember when the computerization was introduced in banks about 40 years back, there used to be a lot of strikes. All India Bank Employees Association, I remember, very long strike. They didn't want the computerization because there was a concern, there was an apprehension that computers might replace our jobs, but it never happened. And the same bank employees or same employees of any other organization might again go on some resistance or a strike, if not strictly, if the latest version of that technological machine is not provided to them. So it is a feeling of concern which leads into feeling of insecurity at times before the new technology comes. Sometime before, I think few days, few months or few years before that technology comes into operations, we start having that discomfort, disequilibrium, and once we have gotten used to that, it continues for some time and then it goes away. So it is, in that context, I would say it is most like a state of mind that whether we can apply that technology or not. And from here only, our responsibility as a teacher, as a mentor, as a researcher, it comes that how do we make people adopt technology with much ease and much lesser disequilibrium. And this can happen only when we talk about technology, avoid the complications of the technology, make things simpler, faster, and communicate to them that technology is for ultimately increasing efficiency and effectiveness. Today, vendors are using technologies, even 5G mobile phones, because they have understood that how good it could be. Our professor was talking about hybrid work. We have gotten used to it. Housewives are using it. They know that how useful it is. So this is what our responsibility is. Together with this, there is also a question always asked that in view of these emerging technologies, what kind of future skills that we are going to have. There is a World Economic Forum observation about 2 years back, 2 to 3 years back, about 22 it came, that currently 66% job is being done by human, remaining is by machines. And 5 years later, the prediction was for 2027, about 54% will be performed by the human beings and rest by machines. What it means that machines are not going to take away our jobs. Machines are going to spare us for something different, something of higher order, strategic skills, entrepreneurial skills, what we always talk of. This is also a skill. And who can understand this entrepreneurial skills better than someone in Gujarat, the heart of entrepreneurship in the country that we are all aware of. So let's accept technology, let's welcome technology, adopt technology, and encourage others to use it, learn from the technology, and then only technology will take a different shape. Maybe sometime back, Industry 5.0. Today we are talking of 4.0. I'm very happy that we have such enlightened speakers who would talk about not only from the academic, scholastic perspective, but from the industry perspective as well. They have seen that what kind of technologies are emerging, what kind of opportunities are coming, and how important it is for us not only to learn the newer technology, but at the same time unlearn the earlier ones. It is continuously a race between unlearning, relearning, and learning newer skills and the technologies. With this, I invite my fellow panelists to say something that they have in mind. About 5 minutes we would welcome, because we are running short of time. 5 minutes, let's have one after the other. Maybe we invite our professor from Switzerland. He would, Ernst, he would say, and then we will have other professors and members, and then we'll have a round of questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. I've been to India many times, but never to Rajkot. Although I know that a lot of things that we're doing in the Humanistic Management Network are very much about entrepreneurship, about purpose-driven enterprises, and I've just learned and heard before that this is the center in India for entrepreneurship, or one of the centers. So it's high time to be here, and I'm thanking all the organizers, Atmiya University, very, very much for this invitation. On a topic that I think is very relevant, interesting, but that we also need to reflect a little more thoroughly on at times. I've got 5 minutes, I heard, so I'll be trying to keep within that time to do 3 times 3 things. First, my presentation has 3 main parts. I'm going to tell you just 2 words about who we are as the Humanistic Management Network. Then we have the second part of looking at the disruption skills and future of work. And thirdly, I want to introduce the concept and the answer that we provide to some of those questions as the Humanistic Management Network. Who is the Humanistic Management Network? We are a global organization that is trying to make a positive impact through research, conferencing, publications, academic activities to address 2 main challenges, which are firstly the environmental challenge and secondly the distributional challenges that we're confronted with as a global community. And we do that through research activities, through conferencing, through publications, through networking with mainly scholars, but also management practitioners and policymakers, media people around the world. So the topic here is disruptive technologies, skilling and the future of work. And let me go to the second 3 of my 3 times 3 presentation here, which are those 3 questions, I would say, that arise if I read that title, which is firstly, what makes disruption or disruptive technology desirable? Is it desirable per se? I don't think so. If not, what makes it desirable would be the first question. The second question is, which skills should we develop if we're looking at skilling? And then thirdly, how will the future of work actually look like, or what are some drivers for the future of work? Now, on the first one, I already said I do not think disruptive technologies are per se something that's desirable. We need to look what they're doing. What are they disrupting? How are they disrupting? What is the purpose of the disruption? And in whose service are they disrupting? And if we don't look at those questions, I don't think we can pass a valid judgment of whether disruptive technologies are desirable or not. And I'll give you a few examples. If we're looking, for example, at the energy sector and that the big wave of innovations that are coming on renewable energy, desirable or not? Clearly desirable. Clearly very desirable to find ways and innovations that allow us to have energy in a less harming way to the environment. Very much a desirable disruption that we're saying there. Has anyone heard of high frequency or ultra high frequency trading? It's a form of trading stock on financial markets, which as far as I know is prohibited in India for good reason. It's a form of trading stocks which is fully automated, executed in ultra high frequency, that's where the name comes from, so you're buying and selling stocks within fractions of a second, purely based on mathematical calculation, on the hope that your own actions will trigger market reactions from which you can benefit, which would be market making, ultra high frequency trading, or arbitrage when you have stocks listed in different exchanges and you use minimum times where the price of the stocks on different exchanges may differ. Zero value created, big incentives given to have adverse effects on overall value creation, to extract value rather than create value, and for good reason prohibited in many countries of the world. Ultra high frequency trading, a technological disruption that has absolutely no benefit for society, that has no benefit on financial markets, where financial transactions are not related in any way to the underlying assets, disruptive technology that I don't see why it is desirable or why we should welcome it. Just two more examples. We heard a medical doctor speak this morning, professor speak this morning. Remote medical consultations and diagnostics, hugely beneficial. If we're looking at the two main challenges, I said it, environmental and distributional. So if we're looking at the environmental challenge, I mentioned renewable energy, hugely beneficial. If we're looking at the distribution on social aspects, being able to have an expert doctor through a remote diagnostic system somewhere in a village, being able to support the local doctor, the village doctor or nurse in helping a patient, hugely beneficial. Huge lever in providing access to medical care, to health care in regions where healthcare is much weaker than in urban centers. So we have this very positive example for a disruptive technology on the distributional side, whereas we see, if we're looking at the pressure that social media is exercising on the youth today, the pressure to conform, the pressure to look like the people that you see in the social media channels, I think this is not something where a disruption is automatically good. I think we need to be very careful and very much more observant of breakthrough technologies, of disruptive technologies, whether they are leading to desirable outcomes or not, and not all of them do. So that's the first point on disruptive technology. Secondly, skilling. I think if we're looking at which skills should we develop in the business, in the entrepreneurial, in the economic context, we need to develop skills that allow us to build more humane places of work. I think we need to be very well aware that the skilling is needed not so much in an instrumental way, but that the skilling is needed in a humanistic way. And of course, I have to say that being from the Humanistic Management Network, but I genuinely believe that is the case. I think we need to see that there is no right within the wrong. So if we're pursuing wrong goals altogether, if we're pursuing goals where we're thinking that the reason of being for business organizations is profit rather than making goods and services to the benefit of society, if we think the employee is an instrument to nourish and to support this goal of profit, then we're not going to find ways of skilling the right way. I think we need to look at it more broadly. We need to accept that the reason of being for business, the purpose of business, is producing goods and services to the benefit of all of us. And if we're doing that, if we're seeing that as the purpose of business, then we need to find skills that support this, that are conducive to having businesses that have a deeper purpose, that have a more meaningful reason of being than the profit they make. Of course, profit is part of sustainability, but it's not the reason of being for business organizations. And we need to skill accordingly. We need to skill accordingly without viewing the human being and the economic process in businesses as a mere cog in the wheel, as being only instrumental, but we need to embrace and value each and every member of an organization in their human capacity and in all the breadth and depth that they bring to an organization. Now, what does that mean on the third part for the future of work? For the future of work, I think it means the future of work will be a lot more diverse. If we're looking at it today, we're thinking of work as, you get up in the morning, you commute somewhere, and then you either go to a factory or to an office building. You wear clothes that you wouldn't otherwise wear, and you do something for 8 hours a day, and then you go back home. That will, fortunately, no longer be the future of work. I think it will be a lot more diverse, partly because we're accepting and we're embracing the fact that that is not always what people want. In terms of working, and secondly, because of a lot of the traditional work, we heard it before, will no longer be existing the way it used to. And with that, I think we have two options. Either we will need to accept that more and more people will be dependent on some kind of benefit distribution, or we need to fundamentally redefine what we consider to be work. And I think the latter is a lot more productive. I think we will end up in a position where we will need to redefine what work means. What else is work? How?
I request you to quickly.
Sure. So this is, I'm at the end. So this is like the third part. Work will become more diverse. We will need to redefine what we mean when we're saying work, so that in all these disruptions, with all these changes, we will be still in a position where people, through their own means, will be able to have participation in society. So with that, thank you very, very much for the invitation once again, and sorry for running late.
Professor K.B. Gudasi, please, for your opening remarks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I should thank Professor Shiv Tripathi and Atmiya University for hosting me. In the ever-evolving landscape of our world, disruptive technology has become a driving force, reshaping industries, economies, and the very nature of work itself. As we stand on the edge of this technological revolution, it is imperative to recognize the profound impact it has on skilling and the future of work. Disruptive technologies, from artificial intelligence to blockchain, are not only changing the way we work, but also the skills required to thrive in the workforce. Traditional jobs are being automated, and new roles are emerging at an unprecedented pace. In this era of rapid change, adaptability and continuous learning are no longer optional, but essential to survive. For instance, AI is revolutionizing customer service through chatbots and virtual assistants, automating routine inquiries and freeing up human agents to focus more on complex issues. Blockchain technology is transforming supply chains, enabling greater transparency and traceability as well, thereby necessitating new skills or new skill sets in data analysis and blockchain management. Remote work platforms like Zoom, Slack facilitate seamless communication and collaboration across geographical boundaries, allowing individuals to work from anywhere and at any time. Skilling, therefore, becomes a cornerstone of success in the future of our work. It is not just about acquiring technical competencies, but also fostering creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. Lifelong learning must become ingrained in our culture, with individuals and, of course, organizations investing in upskilling and reskilling initiatives to stay relevant in the face of technological disruption. Moreover, the future of work will be characterized by flexibility and remote collaboration enabled by technology. Remote work, gig economy platforms, and virtual collaboration tools are becoming increasingly prevalent, providing individuals with the flexibility to work from anywhere and anytime. However, with these opportunities come challenges as well. There is a risk of exacerbating existing inequalities if access to skilling opportunities is not equitable. Therefore, it is crucial to ensure that skilling initiatives are inclusive and accessible to all segments of society. Additionally, as automation replaces certain tasks, there is a growing concern about job displacement, as said by many other my fellow panelists. However, history has shown that while disruptive technologies may eliminate certain jobs, they also create new ones. The key lies in facilitating smooth transitions through upskilling and reskilling programs. In conclusion, the era of disruptive technology presents both opportunities and challenges for skilling and the future of work. By embracing innovation, fostering digital literacy, and prioritizing inclusivity, we can navigate this transformational period and build a future where technology enhances human potential rather than diminishes it. Thank you.
Let's hear from what industry has to say. And I invite Dr. O.P. Goyal, who has immense experience in skilling and has been implementing several programs for the government, for the corporates, advising important departments. Dr. Goyal, please. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, dignitaries on the dais, faculty members of Atmiya University, and also those who have come from other institutes, scholars, students, ladies, gentlemen. Good afternoon to each one of you. Since I am supposed to talk from the industry perspective, I will try to bring the things from 30,000 feet height to ground level. 5 small topics. The first one is about vocational skilling context in the country. We have 22 million youth who enter class 11th and 12th every year. Pass percentage is 75 in class 12th. About 10% those who pass go for higher education. Among the total, about 7% go for some kind of a vocational training. All others also enter the labor market someday or the other. Sooner or later, they also have to enter the labor market, but mostly unskilled and mostly not being fully ready to work. So this is one context we have in India. We know the numbers, what I talked about India, are very, very different than if you look at some of the developed economies, if you talk about Japan, if you talk about Korea, even if you talk about China, the numbers are much higher. It is almost from 70 to 96%, somewhere in between. And we are talking of 7-8% of the formal skilling of our people. Germany has a very special system of training, as we know. 3 years apprenticeship led by the industry. So there the people, the students and also their parents do not always compete for going to the professional degrees like engineering and all as we do here in India. There, someone who undergoes a vocational training also is well respected in the society, in fact well paid. So this is the difference in the context. This 3-year training in Germany happens after typically 9 years of schooling, 10 years of schooling, or 11 years of schooling, depending on what kind of trade you want to go in, whether you want to go into a technical or a non-technical. In fact, in India, in Bosch, the company for which I worked for 25 years, we have a center which runs the same model which is run also in Germany in the same way. 3 years training, apprenticeship training in Bosch. Center started in 1960, which is almost 62-year-old now. Has trained about 6,000 youth so far, very small numbers. But all those people who have been trained, first each one of them were offered a job in Bosch. Then someone from Australia came to know that such a center is there and these guys are really producing these youth who can work in the international environment. So the office from Australia wrote to their Bangalore office that if anyone comes for a work permit from Bosch, Micro Bosch Vocational Training Center, don't ask any question, just give them work permit. At that time, 600 youngsters from the center migrated to Sydney and Melbourne. Now there are 600 families, and they have in fact started a Bosch India vocational colony in Sydney. They are all alumni of our center. So this is, the center itself has received the President of India's award for Best Vocational Training Center 54 times out of 62 years. We had the privilege of hosting Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister of India, and the German Chancellor that time, Dr. Angela Merkel. Both of them came, they wanted to discuss how can we combine these Indian youth who are in very large number with us and the German apprenticeship system, which is best in the world, as they feel. So how we can combine these two and produce more skilled workers in India who can not only serve India and Germany, but possibly also the other countries. So the first part is about where do we stand on this vocational training. Second is about repeatedly being talked about topic, demographic dividend. So what are we doing for this? We have 10 lakh youth every month completing the age of 18 in the country. 1 million every month, which means we need 1 million people to be employed every month. Whether they get a job or they become entrepreneur. The real question is not, since I come from the industry background, the real question is not whether there are enough jobs for them in the industry or not. The real question is, are they employable? Do they have domain skills needed in the industry? Do they have the soft skills? Do they have the right type of mindset? It's not only the skill part, you also need a right type of mindset if you want to get employed. So these are the questions which we have to ask and then see what can we do to make these 1 million youth employable every month. And this number is not new. This, I think, started when Mr. Sam Petroda was the chairman of the Knowledge Commission. This was in the first report, it came from him. He was directly reporting to the Prime Minister at that time. And also the NSDC was started in 2008, National Skill Development Corporation. We were talking of 500 million youth to be employed in 10 years. I think we haven't even achieved 10% of what was supposed to be done. Coming to third, and that is about the technical skills or the domain skills. There are 17,000 ITIs in the country. 3,000 are run by the government, about 14,000 are run by the private people. There are 152 craftsman trades on which the youth are supposed to be trained. Unfortunately, 90% of the youth go for 5% of these trades. And most of the trades, you don't even get 1, 2, or 3 students also in that ITI. And those are then declared as unpopular trades. In fact, this number from 202 came down to 152 because 50 trades were deleted from the list thinking that these are unpopular, nobody wants to go into these kind of things. In contrast, if you see an example of Karnataka, we have 400 government ITIs now. 300 were there for quite some time and 100 new ITIs have been set up. 400 ITI, only government ITI, I mean. Total ITIs are, of course, 1200 there, but government ITIs are about 400. Only 2 ITIs have a course on plumbing, on carpentry. So only 2 ITIs in Karnataka of all those 400 ITIs run a course on carpentry. They say because carpentry is not popular trade. Yeah, I will do that fast. Yeah. Okay. Then come to the higher education. We have 1100 universities and 53,000 colleges. We are not doing much in the vocational skill side there, as we know. NEP 2020 talks about it. Ideally, all the universities and all these colleges should be imparting vocational trainings to the youth. We should be offering BVOC courses, MVOC courses, and we should engage with the industry. There is a big opportunity to engage with the industry on the CSR side also. For last 10 years, ever since the CSR Act came in, there are 25,000 crore rupees every year available in the industry, which are to be spent on CSR, which are being spent on the CSR, and we don't see much of a participation from academia in that. I personally believe academia should be the biggest partner for industry on CSR, where 25,000 crore rupees are to be spent every year. The NGO sector, with all due respect to them, perhaps will not be able to handle that kind of a work and the kind of money which is available. Last topic of Dr. Shukla, entrepreneurship. So of course I'm not an expert on that, he's the expert, but whatever little I know from my experience about entrepreneurship, if somebody had to define this, it was about discovery, evaluation, and exploitation of the available opportunities in the market. What had actually happened is we have learned few words. One is startup. The second one is breakthrough idea. Then we call it as investor, money, and then we call it as making it a unicorn. Perhaps those are not the kind of things which are conducive to Indian requirement. With NSDC and Bosch, we did a joint exercise of training about 230 girls on rural entrepreneurship. These girls come from the villages. We trained them on rural entrepreneurship, a need which was very much there, which is very much there in the villages also. And there was no loan, etc. required to be given to them. After the training, we simply give them a small starter kit. And they, all of them, 230 of them became the rural beautician in their own villages and earning about 8,000 to 10,000 rupees per month without leaving their social structure, without leaving their houses, their families, and all that. So this is one small example. Since the time is less, I will not, because the expert speakers have already spoken about the technology part, so I will not get into that. But I will only say that if we are worried of the artificial intelligence coming in a big way, whether it is machine learning or whether it is deep learning or whether it is AV or, yes, I'm done. The issue perhaps is not the artificial intelligence. I think with whatever I have said in last 5 minutes, if you reflect on that, perhaps the issue is natural stupidity. So we have to do something for that and not worry about the artificial intelligence. Thank you very much.
Dr. Inderpreet Kaurji.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate Atmiya University for organizing such a wonderful international conference on the very relevant theme, the need of the hour. So I will be not taking much of your time because the time which has been allocated by the members is only 5 minutes. So I'll be taking you through the presentation. The topic which has been given to me is Future Skilling for Sustainable World. Excuse me, sir, it's not working. Yes. So world is changing very fast. And we need to understand only 3 points, not more than this. We just need to focus on learning, unlearning, and relearning, which has already been discussed in the morning by the experts. Sir, could you please help me? Yes. The next thing is what we need. The topic of the international conferences, we are focusing on the sustainability, we are focusing on the coexistence. Because I am from the background of the social sciences, I would certainly focus on value system. We need to include the value, we need to strengthen the society, and need to focus on the sustainabilities only through values. Could you please, sir? Yes. What is the need? Why it is required? It is required because we want to have the well-being of the planet. We are talking about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We have to make the society sensitized. Disruptive technologies, that's fine. AI, it's okay. But at the end of the day, we need to create sensitized world who are having the sensitization towards the Sustainable Development Goals. We are talking all about these. Every day we are talking about these. The concept and the main objective of this concept is we need to create a youth, the leaders who are having the sustainability concept in their mind. How is it possible? It's very simple. We all know it, but we need to deliberate. We need to take the things out. The basic main aim of education, we all say, we all are educators. We always say the education, the purpose of the education is to drawing out the best. We don't need to pour in, but we need to have a strategic manner approach. We need to have a strategies. What are the strategies? The first is we need to identify the gap analysis. What are the gaps? Then we have to give the intervention. That is, we need to equip them with the skills. What are the skills? We need to identify those skills. Then only we can give the treatment. That is equipment of the acquired skills which are required by the youth. Success is all ours. What is success? Coexistence. Everyone is happy. We are talking about the human values. We are talking about the coexistence. But we need to deliberate how to do it. It has to be in a step-by-step manner. That is why we all are here. We are here to deliberate on the things. So my friends, what we are talking about is, we are not talking about to gain something. We are talking here only to have the connection with each other in a productive manner. How is it possible? Sir, could you please? Yes. Yes. So I will be just skipping because all the members, they have already discussed what exactly is required. Industry-specific training, that's fine. Cross-disciplinary learning, that's okay. But the lifelong learning process has to be taken care because that is very, very important. Yes, may I request? How is it possible? We have to connect to the sustainability because we have to address the global challenges. Why? Because we have to align the skills where we are creating responsible citizens. It is around the globe. We have to take care of the planet. It's not my responsibility, it's our responsibility. We have to create that sensitization among all the members on the earth. Environmental conscious deliberations have to be there, and every member is now ready to help each other. That is the connectivity. Yes. Yes, sir, please. Could you please? We need to focus on human values. Atmiya University, when I was entering the university, I was very impressed to see because the main focus of the university is on human values. We need to create youth who is having happiness and well-being. Sir, I'll be just taking 2 minutes. We need to create empathy, conflict resolution. These are the skills which are required. When we are talking, we need to create a world which is happy. Everyone is happy. How is it possible? This is possible when we have the connectivity with each other. These are the things we need to take care on the human values. Yes, sir, please. Next slide. We are already having 3 skills, so I will not be going in detail. Cognitive, technical, and social skills, that's fine. We all have those skills. But the main thing is we only need to draw the best, and we all have those best among us. Next slide, please. We need to create a balanced world where everyone is happy, everyone is enjoying, and we are helping each other to save the planet. So that is the purpose, and that is we need to help each other so that we can create a world where we all are happy and we all grow. That is the basics of the human values. So thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. And it is indeed an honor to be part of this session. Thank you so much.
Very, very enlightening views by all the panelists. Even though we are running short of time, but I am tempted to ask at least one question to each of the panelists. They have expertise, lots of insights on the subject. Let me open the discussion with Dr. Ernest first. How can institutions prepare themselves? How can institutions prepare themselves? We are not talking of preparing, students. How can we prepare ourselves to create students who are more employable by the industry? Yes, something for ourselves.
I'm not sure if I fully agree with the question itself, because I'm not sure whether the main task of the higher education institution is to just produce better functioning cogs in the wheel for business organizations. It is one core objective, but I think we need to be differentiating between the function of the higher education institution for delivering as employable students, but we also need to look at how can we deliver graduates that are able to shape this world and in a positive way and make a positive impact. And I think there's the way we can do that, I think, is by a lot of more interaction between campus and employers, to have a constant exchange, a dialogue, and a learning from and with each other, so that businesses get a better perspective of what graduates can bring in terms of a positive overall societal impact, and we as educators learn better what the needs are for businesses. So I would suggest a more and a deeper exchange between business and higher education institutions that goes beyond purely having the ambition to produce well-functioning graduates that fulfill the today's imminent need of a business. Our ambition as educators should be bigger.
Thank you. I think very well said. Let me ask Professor Gudasi, sir, with your lot of insights, experiences in different institutions, I am tempted to ask you that by the time student comes to the college or the university, already he or she has some opinions, some minds about vocation, about the career objectives, etc. And if we have to create an awareness about learning future skills or be future ready, can something be done or started at the school level itself, so that when students come to the higher education, they are better prepared to benefit from the institutions, courses, programs, etc. Your views?
Skilling at the school level will not be possible, because the school education is not for skilling. It is to lead the life, because at the school level, they are to be taught with respect to the requirements at the basic level. If you have to put the skilling, it is to be at the college level or the university level, because then the students would be matured and they'll be knowing what to do. So at that moment of time, if you can include the skilling part, yes, it can be of great success.
Because in NP also, there is a lot of emphasis on industry mentoring, creativity, vocational skills.
Yeah. So all that would be of great help and success at college and the university level. Of course, to give that ideas and to instill this skilling. Exactly, it is not skilling at the school level, but it has to be at the college level.
Thank you. Dr. Goyal, you said something very important, that is the mindset. It reminds me of an article which I would like to share with the students also. Is it working? I think it's not. Some time back, there was an article in Financial Times, and the researcher had interviewed few CEOs of Fortune 500 companies with the basic question that when you make hiring decision, what is there in your mind? How do you hire someone? What is the basic premise? Similarly, when you fire someone, what is the reason? And after interviewing several companies, he just summarized it, and it is reflected in the title that they hire for technical skills and fire for behavioral failures, which is what you have said, that the mindset is very, very important. Sir, we have lots of sector skill councils in different domains. We have also seen how our Prime Minister has started emphasis on skilling people, creation of a ministry, NSDC role, etc. Recently, this PM Vishwakarma Yojana, it is also skilling people at the rural level for various jobs. So how do you think that we can achieve our objective of creating this awareness among ITIs, among technical institutions, through NSDC? How can we reap greater advantages of that and also connect it with the industry, whether it is large industry or MNCs? Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. Many times people mix up the soft skills and this mindset part because these are very close. So I will say domain skill is different, soft skill is different, and preparing this mindset is a third thing which is not even getting fully covered into the soft skill. So what is this? Sometime before we came through a research which at one point in time tried to study as to how is that countries like Japan and Germany became developed countries in 60 to 70 years of the Second World War. And how is that India and Egypt are with 5,000 years of civilization still developing countries. So basic idea was to find out what actually has made them or helped them to become developed. People were thinking it may be natural resources, it may be those people are more intelligent, etc., etc. Nothing of that sort. They found there are 9 specific traits related to the mindset of the people which they practice on a daily basis. So we have in fact picked up those 9 topics like ethics, integrity, taking responsibility, law, respect for law of land, respect from others as a right, then also about saving and not spending everything what you earn, love for your work, and attitude of gratitude. So these are the things which came out, which made those developed countries developed. Similarly, I think since those course contents are now available here in India, if we can bring those to the universities, to the ITIs also, to all the other education institutes, but I will say first for the faculty and then for the student, because the faculties also have to learn it and practice it, and then it should be passed on to the students. Then I think this the issue of mindset can be addressed this way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Kaur, I am tempted to ask you a very important point that you highlighted in your presentation about emphasis on the human values which institution need to provide. Of course, that is very important. We have Indian ethos, Indian values, which emphasizes on how do we achieve something. It is not only what we achieve, but how do we reach to that. Mahatma Gandhi focused on that. On the contrary, there is a Western belief, Machiavelli, end justifies means. So students are often caught up in these 2 beliefs, and how can you prepare them so that strongly emerge that just for seeking job or preparing themselves for being job ready, they do not divert or dilute the core values which are necessary for human beings. Your views?
Yes. Sir, my view is we need to create a conducive environment so that the students, they are ready to learn. If we give them the environment, and the capacity building of the teachers, very rightly said by my member, that we need to focus on the capacity building. If the teachers are ready to create that environment, certainly the students, they will automatically be deliberated for that. Yes, we need to work upon. We need to give a clarity. Many times we don't have the clarity. Where to go, what to go, how to go. So we need to have the clarity. That is the step-by-step approach which I have already discussed in my presentation. And the environment, that is very important. So that's my viewpoint.
Great. It means that in order to be teacher, I also first need to follow those values which I want to develop in my students.
Yes, sir.
So leading by example.
Yes, you have to be the role model, sir.
Very good, very good.
If you are a role model, certainly your students, they will be far
Do we
ahead
have time
of
to
you.
invite questions from the audience? Maybe our Dean sir has permitted, if one or two questions are there from the audience, you can ask to any of the panelists. Anybody has any question, please?
Hello. Yes, sir. My question is for the Gudasi sir. Sir, as you have mentioned out, the skill level was not decided in the school level.
Sorry?
As you have said, the skill was not decided at the school level. So as per the NEP 2020 structure, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So in 5 plus 3 plus 3, the second 3, it was mentioning out middle structure, at the middle level. So at that time, the student may decide what they will do or what they will not do during the middle structure.
The school I mean here,
Yeah.
okay, up to 8th. Okay. Then what is required to teach the students at up to 8th is what is required for their life, not with respect to the skill, but with respect to the ethics, values, ethos. Okay. Thereafter comes, once that maturity comes, once the student starts thinking about earning, the workplace, then yes, skills are required. So previous to that, yes, you can add the soft skills, how to behave, the behavioral skills, but not the technical skills.
Any other question? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please.
Mike.
Thank you, sir. Before coming for the conference, I wanted to get some input from the students who are doing the PG, who are studying in India and in foreign country also. They said, ask the government to make the syllabus more practical than theoretical in the schools itself, first point. Second one, don't force students to learn just 5 subjects till 10th standard, but can branch out on their desired subjects from 8th grade. As sir just now said, up to 8th, okay, we can give some syllabus. After that, they should have choices or electives kind of. Even if it is sports, let the students study the subjects like nutrition, mental stability, economics, etc. related to the field. Thank you, sir.
Great. Any comments? I think our NEP by and large addresses that. Yes, yes. It is highlighted in NEP. Thank you. Sir, you wanted to say something.
Thank you. My straight question is to Dr. Goyal. Dr. Goyal, I was really very surprised when you referred to Sampit Road. I have a book in my hands, Redesign the World. When we have the leaders, mad leaders going for war to prove their supremacy, I have a common question to all of you. Do you have any design where we can stop the war forever on this planet? We do have answer. We need an answer from you. I need yes, then I can say yes. How?
So you are saying that there should not be any possibility of going for a war.
Absolutely, sir.
So there is no third world war. That's what you are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yes, it is possible.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, how?
What all we are doing, the kind of behavior what we are practicing, whether it is within the country or with the neighbor countries or with the countries which are little far flung. Most of our behaviors are actually going into some kind of an conflict mode. You just have to turn the table and resolve the conflict, bring the ideas which actually do not create new conflict, resolve the conflict, and then I think there will be no need for any world war.
Thank you. I would like some students to ask some questions, one or two students. Please, it is your turn. You are the future of work, future of nation. Yes, please. Good.
With all your permission, it's not a question, but on a student perspective, I would like to add on all the dignitaries here, because everything for a student or for a person itself, it starts from the home itself. So for any of the students, how many of them think that, like in most homes, people want their students to become either engineers or doctors? Pilot. So when we were in school days, we never thought about being a pilot or having interaction with a pilot or what are the possibilities out there. So since the world is growing in such a fast speed, we need students to know about what are the possibilities in school level itself, so that they can dream about it at least, what are the possibilities.
Yes, of course, all of us agree with this. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good observation.
Maybe.
Anybody else? Any other person? Okay. So we stop. Thank you so much, and we give it to you for your final remarks.
So it's a very nice interactive, and we are just concluding in that way. The technology is required, but as well as we have to focus on the behavior, and we need to increase the level of understanding, and also focus of the universal human value. So we can utilize the technologies, and the future, it should be the brighter and more brighter. Right. Okay. Thanks to all the plenary sessions, and now we go proceed.
I thank all the speakers of today's session. That was very informative discussion. After this fruitful discussion, Atmiya University would like to felicitate our distinguished speakers. For that, I request Professor K.B. Gudasi sir to present a memento to our chairperson, Dr. Sunil Shukla sir, as a token of love and affection.
Other way around.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Sunil Shukla sir to present a memento to our speaker, Dr. O.P. Goel, as a symbol of our love and respect.
Very recently joined our governing board of EDII.
Now I request Dr. Sunil Shukla sir to present a memento to our speaker, Dr. Inderpreet Kaur ma'am, as a symbol of love and respect. thank you, sir. So now we come to the end of this today's plenary 1 session. We will have a lunch break after this. And after the lunch break, we will have the second session in again this auditorium 1. And the participants, they can track their presentations venue. It is mentioned at the notice board outside the lobby. Thank you. We will have a group photo for the speakers.
2:30.